Family, 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 family. Family. I'm waiting for y'all to trickle on in. Waiting for y'all to trickle on in. Just wanted to talk to you this evening, but I'm waiting for y'all to trickle on in. Waiting for y'all to come hang out with me. Thank you for working out with me. A little while ago, we had almost 200, out of all of the social networks, we had almost 200,000 people work out. Hey, Jen, what's going on, baby? Doing good, Tanya, thank you. Hey, Jess, thank you for sharing, Taj. So we had almost 200,000 people work out all over the world. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. Everybody gets to work out all at the same time. Highway Queens, what's happening, baby? But, hey, Taj. Taj should be knocking out her cardio. But, just wanted to holler at y'all because I get some really cool, emails daily that I love sharing with y'all. And one of them today kind of caught my eye. We get like hundreds, like daily. And I mean, it's a blessing, and very happy that people feel comfortable enough to reach out and know, that it is me. They be like, oh, is this you? And, normally I have people handle all of my stuff, but that's something that I love taking care of. I love the personal stuff. So whenever you hit me up with a personal email, that's me responding back, especially if it's in all caps. I do that on purpose just to let you know that that's me. So if you see something in all caps, you know that that's me. But anyway, let me share. Long story short, basically a lady hit me up and she was kind of sad. And she was depressed. She even told me she was depressed because all her life she has been big. Hey, Nancy. All her life she's been big, and she's just tired of being big. And now she's at the point to where she doesn't feel like there's any way out of it. And she was asking me to help her. And of course, I'm like, yeah, I got you, because that's what I do. I'm the world's greatest weight loss expert, so that's what I do. But as I was reading through the whole thing, it kind of hit me that her identity was tied into her weight. And a lot of times when you buy into that, you kind of act out certain roles that come along with it. So, you know what? People think that you're happy all the time because you like to crack jokes, or, because you're loud. People think that, oh, ain't nothing wrong with her. She's cool because that's Big John. That's Big Susie or Sheila. It's always a big in front of it. And so, they laugh and they ha he, they say something insulting. And you know what? They always get tagged as, that girl crazy. Meanwhile, she going home crying behind closed doors because she doesn't want that role anymore. She's tired of that role. She's been bound by that role, because sometimes instead of saying help me, people just continue to play out a role because it's so much easier. So basically, if you're watching, what I want to tell you is, this is the beautiful thing about life. If you don't like something, guess what? You can change it. And you can look at every area of life and be like, I can change it. If you don't like where you live, you can change it. If you don't like what you drive, you can change it. If you don't like where you work, you can change it. If you don't like the person you're dating, you can change it. If you don't like your money, you can change it. There's nothing that basically says that you're bound to anything. And you're not bound to a role either. So for those who feel like you're bound because that's what you've always been called or always been used to, guess what? Here's the key. Let yourself on out. I'm giving you your keys to freedom. You can release yourself. See, a lot of y'all put yourself in a prison known as your body. Stay in the prison when basically, if you with me, you got the key to let yourself on out. I've let out a lot of people, so I'm giving you permission to let yourself up out of your personal jail cell, because that's what it is. So you have to make the decision to insert and turn. Because again, a lot of people are serving life sentences for something they was only supposed to serve months for. You was only supposed to serve 3-4 months, but you know, you're basically serving a life sentence because you're thinking to yourself, I have tried everything and I don't know. First of all, you got to change your thinking. Everything starts with, how do you think of yourself? You got to change how you think of yourself. Feel me on that. You got to change your own perspective of self. If you know me, you know that I'm a million miles an hour. I'm a million miles an hour, and I have a great appreciation of what I do, and I know my value. So me personally, I never settle for less than my value. It drives a lot of people crazy, but you know I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm always true to myself, and that's what I need for you to start doing. I need for you to basically create your own image of who you're capable of becoming. Let yourself out. Again, you let people talk you into roles, and you play those roles out because you've never established your own identity of who or what you could be. You never established that idea of self. You never established a concept of self. I need for you to establish a clear and concise concept of self versus what somebody else who ain't worth 2 cents has labeled you as. Y'all let everybody label you, and again, the people that's labeling you ain't buy nothing. But you carry the name, and you carry all of the characteristics of it. I need for you to write out who you are and who you want to be. That's the beautiful thing about life. You are your imagination. You can become your own imagination. You can form your own concept of you, of self. But it's going to require you to relinquish all of that old stuff. You know, all the little old names they used to call you. You know, your name is Liz, but back at home, they still calling you Chucky. That ain't your name. I need for you to come up with some nicknames for yourself. I nicknamed myself the world's greatest because nobody else was calling me that. I didn't wait for anybody to pat me on the back and say, you know what? You pretty good at what you do. I didn't need anybody to tell me who or what I was, because I was going to dictate who I was going to be unapologetically, and I didn't need anybody's permission to do it. And here's the funny thing. The more I started calling myself that, the more other people started calling me that. Nobody back at home called me that. I'm saying. So you have to come up with your own bigger idea of self. And when you do that, also don't place any limitations on that new person you're about to birth. Don't place any limitations, because when you were Big Stephanie or Big Lynn or, you know, Big Ursula or somebody like that, there was limitations with that. When you put the word big in front of anything, you're not going to enter any pageants. You're not gonna be the first one to be picked in any sports, anything of that nature. You got to create a concept of self. But when you do it, take the parking brakes up off your mind, please. Take the parking brakes up off of it. Because again, when you let people label you, those words, that they called you, that you done hung on to, they have limitations. From this point on, no more limitations. No more limitations. Again, if you don't like your position in life, if you don't like your spot, if you don't like your lot in life, you can change it. You're not subjected to have to stay in that spot. Again, release yourself. If you don't like something, change it. But it's time. It's time. It's time. And it's way overdue. And the worst thing you can do is wait to become 50, 60 years old for it to click and for it to sink in, and you have 10, 15 years left to live. It would be a shame for you to get to be so old to where you never lived because of labels and basically soul ties people have you bound by words. By words. Other people's words. Not words of your own, not opinions of your own, but labels and opinions of people you're actually better than. Isn't that funny? The people who used to bully you around the most never turned out to be anything, but you're sitting there carrying all of the baggage that came along with those labels that they put on you, and they wasn't even worth nothing. They never turned out to be anything. But you're still walking around with the issues of being 5, being 6, being 10. Time for you to label yourself. Time for you to start calling yourself positive names that grow you and take you to the next level. Again, it's not about what they say about you. It's about what you say about you. Again, the people who have affected your life in the most negative way, if you looked at the top 4 or 5 people who made you feel bad, made you feel a certain way, bullied your behind, they ain't worth nothing. They never turned out to be anybody. They probably locked up. They probably got about 5, 6, 7 kids. But you still carrying around an opinion of somebody that you ended up being greater than. But you still carry around the scars of, being called names because you were dark skinned. Or because you were fat. You still carrying around all of that stuff. Even being too smart, you played down how smart you were because you didn't want the attention that came along with being smart. Made you feel bad because you made good grades in school. And the person who criticized you the hardest don't even have a job right now. Ursula says, what if it's your family? Screw your family. Screw your family. And I mean that. With every being of my life, I mean that. Screw your family. And I'll tell you why. Your biggest haters in life isn't your haters. It's your family. It's that person who wears your last name. And I'm going to tell you what's all rooted in. Secretly, they compete against you. They won't say anything. They won't say anything to you verbally that we're competing. But in the back of their minds, when I say this, it's going to hit you in the mouth. Because there's certain people who, as soon as you get a house, they go out and they rent, listen to my words, they rent a bigger house just because they don't want you to have the bigger house. You buy a car. You buy a Mercedes-Benz E-Class. They go out and buy the Mercedes S-Class. They're secretly competing with you. Your kid is doing great, but then they want to bring up the accomplishments of their kids, secretly competing with you. Okay? Again, the person who says they dislike you, they're no threat to you. It's the people that wear your last name. It's the people that call you cuz. It's the people that call you sis. Those are the people that want to bury you. Because again, it's an issue of ego. It's an issue of pride. And it's an issue of competition. Because we as people have to feel like we're better than the other. So we can't compliment other people, but we can put them down. So as soon as you do something awesome, they're always going to throw salt in your accomplishment. It's not going to be congratulations. They're going to find fault with you. So you got a promotion on your job. First thing they say is either A, I wonder who she done slept with to get that, or B, oh, she ain't gonna have that too long because you know she can't even hold the job. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Again, it's the people who wear your last name that causes you the most issues. It's not your haters. It's your family. So, with that being said, I have a friend. I actually have a brick who have family issues too. And one of the things I tell her all the time, the only person you need, the only people you need is you and God. And that's it. Because again, if you can't expect water from a rock. Sometimes you just have to say, this is what it is. They're negative. They've always been negative. They ain't never gonna have nothing good to say. They ain't never had nothing good to say for as long as I've been alive. So why all of a sudden, they all of a sudden just pat me on the back when for the last 30, 40 years, they've had nothing but bad things to say about me. Even in my good times, they had something bad to say. But even during my bad times, when I felt like they were applauding my demise, how are you going to expect something different than what they've always given you? Feel me on that. So sometimes you just have to step away. Ain't nothing wrong with stepping away, because the first thing you have to do is basically acknowledge who people are and who they never will be. And you have to be cool with that. Versus breaking your neck trying to change something that refuses to change. You have to change. And you have to change in terms of basically accepting. Coming to the realization of, this is what this is. And so this is how I'm going to handle it. I'm not going to change it. I can love you from a distance. I can love you from afar. I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm not going to break my neck or hurt myself or allow you to change my mind about me just because you're not feeling good about you. That's real. And you can love from a distance. I love a lot of people from a distance. Love you, love you, love you. But I'm not going to allow you to change my opinion of myself just because you don't see the greatness in me that I see in me, or you refuse to acknowledge the things that I'm doing just because it's not happening to you. I can love you from a distance, but never will I ever allow you to change my mind about myself. And that's the mentality you have to have. Don't let anybody change your mind about you. You've been in relationships like that. And it all started with that family member. Then it trickled on to that relationship. That's how it starts. Starts with the family, putting you down. Then you find somebody else, you claim to love, they end up putting you down too. And you just accept it because you've been put down all your life. And subconsciously, you've accepted it because that's what you've always gotten. You've always got negativity. You've always had people talk bad about you. And so when somebody you claim to love starts to do it, you think it's normal when it's not. And that's not how love is. I shouldn't have to break you down to keep you. I shouldn't have to keep you grounded. just to keep you from floating away. Again, you're an eagle. You're supposed to soar. So be very, very leery of people who say, I'm just trying to keep her grounded. I'm just trying to keep her on the even keel. No, let's be real. You trying to keep me down here because that's where you are. So if you're a turtle, you can't fly nowhere. But if I'm an eagle, you're gonna try your best to convince me I'm a turtle. You can't fly. Ain't nothing special about you. You better stay down here with me. You don't want to go up there. Shoot, the last time somebody I knew flew up there, shoot, bad stuff happened to them. You don't want to do that. You might want to stay on down here where it's safe. Stay down here with me. And then a lot of y'all end up buying into that lie somebody else tells you, and you never find out, and you never learn what it's like to fly, to spread your wings and just soar. Because somebody has always convinced you that you're not meant to soar. You're meant to be grounded. You're meant to be held down. Feel me on that. So, soar. And if you're dealing with people who don't allow you to soar, wave them away. Wave them away. Make life easy. Stop making life hard. Wave them away. If they don't allow you to become the greater version of yourself, wave them away. If they're not encouraging you to become your better self, wave them away. If they don't see the potential in you, wave them away. If they don't see your greatness, wave them away. If they make you feel less than, wave them away. This is your time to soar. This is your time to soar. Stop fooling with turtles, please. No matter what last name they carry that resembles yours. Just want to put that out there. Just want to put that out there. If you're currently going through what I just finished talking about, say you were talking to me, coach. If you currently have people in your life that's trying to hold you down in the land of the familiar, say you're talking to me, coach. You ain't no turtle. You ain't no turtle. You ain't no turtle. You ain't no turtle. Stop being bound by opinions. Again, of people that you're greater than and have proven yourself to be greater than. All your life, you've been held down by the opinions of people you're better than. Okay, now that we understand that, release yourself. Let yourself fly. Allow yourself to fly. Give yourself permission to fly. Because we've already acknowledged that you're greater than the people and the opinions of the people that try to hold you down. Now, what kind of disservice would you be doing for yourself if you just constantly kept your feet on the ground because somebody talked you out of flying and soaring? Knowing good and full well you should have moved a long time ago, but fear kept you there because somebody was whispering in your ear, you don't want to do that because if you do, you're going to lose everything. Kept you right there. Kept you right there. You wanted to start that business, but somebody was always in your ear. You would be a fool to leave this job that you've always, you've been in for the last 10, 15 years. You don't want to lose your pension. Knowing good and full well if you left it, you'll make 10 to 15 times as much doing what you love to do. Trust me, I know. Stop allowing people to talk you out of yourself. How about that? So that's what's up. Want to drop that on y'all. Tosh says, that's why I don't share my dreams with turtles. They ain't gonna understand it anyway. And that's why, when you share your stuff with people, it's kind of like what I always say, stop expecting blind people to see your vision. They're blind. They're incapable. They can't see. So the moment that you get excited and you say something with an idea and you're happy and you're excited, and then you say something to somebody who can't see, the moment they don't get excited, then your energy level goes down. Your excitement goes down. But then I'm blaming you because you have vision. But what did you do? You turned around and you shared something with somebody you're greater than who has no vision. And then when they didn't get excited about your vision, your own personal vision that you've already been given, then everything gets pulled down. Your excitement comes down. You don't even feel like doing it anymore because now you're starting to question, messages God has been given to you. Because a blind person can't see your vision. It's your vision. It's not their vision. Keep in mind, they're blind. They're dumb. They can't comprehend nothing because keep in mind, they've been bound by ego and pride, so they ain't gonna be able to see nothing anyway. If it's not about them, they ain't gonna be able to see it. They ain't gonna get excited about something that doesn't pertain to them, something that doesn't elevate them. It elevates you, so they're not going to see it. So the minute they're not feeling it, brings you down. You're not excited anymore. You probably set it on the table, just like this. Set it on the table, never to pick it up anymore because at first it brought excitement to you, but the minute that you gave it over to somebody who had no vision, who couldn't see it, the minute you gave it over to them and they wasn't excited about it and gave it back to you, you got it and you sat it down, never to mess with it ever in life again. That's how that goes. Stop expecting the blind to be able to see your vision when they've already proven that they're blind. So that's what's up. So, love y'all. Just wanted to drop that on y'all. But continue to soar. That's what I want you to think about for the rest of this evening. Soar. You're an eagle. Soar. That's your challenge for tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow. Let's go get it. Love y'all. Have a great night.